And now we are recording. Welcome to the final flow of 2020, for a final virtual flow of 2020. I am excited that we've had this journey together, and my whole mindset has been to bring it to a closure in some ways, and almost as a symbol of rebirth moving into the new year. It's a full moon tonight, and last week we talked a lot about planetary alignments and how it's all connected. So just adding on to that, this idea of being a full moon and this new light that's being shined on our lives as we transition into 2021. So if you're joining me virtually, just find yourself in a comfortable place. Allow yourself to lay down onto your back. You can use your blocks if you have them handy, either underneath the backs of the thighs or in a restorative fish shape underneath the shoulders and the back of the head. And then just take a moment to notice your surroundings, process the environment that you're in, and let the eyelids softly close as you let the external world fall away and begin to redirect your attention to the inner environment, your thoughts and your emotions. This year has been a whirlwind, and so you could feel tattered and torn. You could feel excited and renewed for the next chapter. And just give yourself permission to be okay with wherever you land on that spectrum. Sometimes we fight ourselves internally thinking, I shouldn't feel like that. I shouldn't think like this. But at least for the next 60 minutes, everything that you're feeling, everything that you're thinking is allowed. There's nothing wrong with that. I've often said over this year, 2020 has been very illuminating, and I teach from a very transparent place. For me, it has also been very illuminating. I've spent a lot of the year challenging my life in many ways. What serves me, what doesn't serve me. And I've started asking myself some very unique questions that I thought maybe I could share with you as a form of perspective to carry with you into 2021. The first question I asked myself this year was, in what ways am I getting in my own way? How am I being my own worst enemy? And I allowed myself to explore that. And then I asked myself, how did my childhood and my upbringing shape my beliefs? And how does that make me susceptible to manipulation? And I know that might feel like a weird thing to ask, but I'll give you an example. I grew up very poor, like very poor, on welfare, food stamps, free lunch, all of those things. And so when I see children that are hungry, I instinctively want to feed them. And that means that in my own children, I might have overfed them. But also, anytime I see a child in suffering or believe that they're in suffering, I go to aid, even if that person is just using me. So, how did my upbringing open me up, shape my beliefs, and make me susceptible to manipulation? That's a pretty deep one. And the last question I found myself asking this year: how is my circle of influence impacting the way I view the world? Every relationship you have, whether you realize it or not, will impact the way you see the world. If you have a negative friend and you spend a lot of time with them, chances are over time you will start thinking negatively as well. Or I had a friend that used to always say donkey balls. I know that's funny, and I'm sorry that I just said that in the middle of a yoga class, but she would always say that. And then one day, out of the blue, guess what I said? It just is natural for us to kind of absorb the energies of the people around us. So thankfully, 2020 stripped away all of those relationships down to the bare bones, just down to our family, our close family and friends. And it allowed me an opportunity to truly reflect on each and every relationship and the value it brought to my life, or lack thereof in some cases. Maybe there's parts of these questions that you have never asked yourself, or maybe you're like, yeah, I've been asking those same questions. And maybe at the end of the journey, you think nothing different, that you still have the same beliefs you've had since you were a child, that you still have the same circle of friends that you did last year, and that you still can be influenced by those around you. Maybe. But what does it hurt to ask the question? And so rather than setting a resolution moving into 2021, maybe we just embrace this sense of inquiry, this sense of exploration. How am I being my own worst enemy? How do my past experiences open me up to manipulation? And how does my circle of influence impact the way I see the world? These three questions have the power to transform your entire view of not only the world, but yourself. And what I found this year is that when I started pulling at those threads, there was something underneath, something more powerful and something more authentic to who I am. And as we bring closure to this year, I want to offer you those perspectives. Take them or leave them, they're there. And as we move from this place of reflection and connection to our deeper, truer selves, set your intention. But let it be from a place of inquiry, exploration. It's a whole new world after 2020. Nothing will be the same, including us. Why would we cling to old ways of being then? From this quiet place inside of yourself, take a deep breath, allowing yourself to feel full of love, full of life, and full of potential. And then exhale slow. Disciplining the breath before we discipline the body. We're going to inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round of breath. Draw it in slow and sweet. Exhale it out long and easy. And then invite some subtle movement into the body by wiggling your fingers and toes. Roll the ankles and the wrists. And then draw those knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze in as the thighs press into the belly. And we'll make some circles clockwise, around. Right? Bringing the year to a close, maybe full circle, however you want to think of it. Good. And then go the other way. Maybe rocking more into your tailbone and your SI joint. And then reach your arms out wide and let your knees gently knock to the right as you come into a gentle twist. You can plant the feet first. If your back's tight, it might feel more gentle. Knees closer to the extended arm will feel more intense. And then look over the opposite shoulder, allowing yourself a change in perspective. Feel a long, steady inhale and a slow and easy exhale. Come back to center and then allow your knees to knock off to the other side. A study was done about the style of sleep training that is done with babies, the let them cry sleep training method. There's a variety of different sleep trainings that you do with babies, but a very popular one, especially when I was growing up, is to just let them cry it out. And they did this study where they measured the baby and the mother's cortisol on night 1, and they were both really high. On night 2, the baby cried and cried, and the cortisol levels again were very high between the mother and the son. On the 3rd night, the baby didn't cry, and so therefore the mother's cortisol levels went down, but the babies not only didn't go down, but were higher than they had been the 2 previous nights. Come back to center. Draw your knees in. Keep just the right knee and extend the left leg long. I mention that because what they found was that the baby did not learn how to self-soothe. That's evident by his cortisol levels spiking. But rather, he learned that his mother wasn't coming to save him and that the crying was useless. And in keeping with that question, that inquiry, how did your childhood shape the way you live, breathe, and exist? Isn't it possible that if your parents participated in the cry it out sleep training, extend the right leg to the sky, hold the back of the thigh, that maybe you believe that you shouldn't show emotion, that emotions are bad or useless? Or maybe you believe that you have this hyper sense of independence, that no one's going to come rescue you, you only can save yourself. Maybe these seeds of belief were planted so deeply into your subconscious that you don't even realize they're there. Slowly lower the right leg and draw the left knee in. And that's just one of a million different influences that could have shaped you as you grew, when your brain was the most vulnerable and took in the most amount of information. Extend the left leg high. Hold the back of the thigh and take some small movements. I've often said that 2020 is the year of the shadow work, the underlying, deeper, darker side of ourselves. And these are the questions that will help reveal that. Slowly lower the left leg. Pull both knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. And then hold the back of the hamstrings and just let yourself rock a little bit until you can rock right up to seated. We're going to turn on the belly, wake things up. We had a couple easy stretches. Draw the shoulders down and away from the back. We're going to take some circles with just the shoulders. So shrug the shoulders up to the ears. Pull it back and down. 2 more like that. Up, back, and down. Good. Find those mechanics. Up, back, down. Now stay. Feel how much longer your neck is, rather. And if you're still feeling okay here, you can float the hands. The belly's turning on. The knees do not need to be any higher than 1 inch off the mat if that doesn't feel right. 90 degrees is better or more ideal. But again, there's no wrong way to feel about this. Turn on your low belly. Sit up tall. Take a breath in. And then exhale, lower the heels. Let the knees open out and lean forward. Soft, easy Baddha Konasana. Rise up. Draw those inner thighs together. We're going to do it one more time. Lean back, float those feet. Hold the back of the hamstrings. We're going to take 3 shoulder rolls up, back, and down. So we're isolating this movement. Good. Finding the length and how to draw down and away. After that third one, stay and then decide if you want to keep holding the backs of the thighs or if you want to reach the arms out to the side. 3, 2, good. 1, heels down, knees out. Go on and lean in. Let the belly go soft. You can take a little rounding in the back. It doesn't have to be a very intense variation. You can press on the inner thighs with the elbows, giving those hips a little stretch. And then rise up, cross over the ankles, and transition forward to tabletop. Aligning ourselves straight up and down in tabletop, hands underneath of the shoulders, spread those fingertips wide, knees underneath of the hips. Nice 6 inches of space. Uncurl the toes and then push all 10 toenails into the mat as much as possible. Feel your roots. Let the belly drop down. Heart lifts. Look up. And then exhale, round out. Angry cat. This is called cat-cow. Draw the shoulders away. Lift the heart. Look up. And then exhale, express through the back. Good. Take one more, moving through your cat-cow, no rush. Come back to neutral. Extend your left leg straight back. Keep the heel curled under and push through the heel. Nice long stretch through the calf. So your shoulders are maybe an inch or 2 behind the wrists now at a slight diagonal instead of straight up. And that's going to allow that stretch. Now spin the left heel down as the left arm extends up. This is called knee down side plank. It's a supported variation. You want to create an alignment, a vertical line from wrist to wrist. Try not to lock into your right elbow. Find the strength of your right shoulder pulling away from the right ear, and then slowly look to the left hand. Turn on your low belly muscles. If you're feeling okay here, you can extend the left leg straight out of the hip. Not higher, not lower if you can help it. Straight out of the hip. The belly has to be engaged, working strong. 3, 2, and 1. Set the foot down, left hand, left knee. We're going to switch. Do one cat-cow here as you move through, resetting the spine. And then the right foot pushes back. Keep the toes curled under, stretch through the calf. This could feel really good, especially if you've been doing any kind of walking or biking. The calves can get really tight. It's getting colder here in Maryland, so if you've been out, you're lucky. Or you were miserable, I don't know. Pull back into the left hand as the right heel swims down, the right arm swims up. Here we are in that knee down side plank. Shoulders stacked, mind is steady. Look to the extended arm. Now you can float the foot. Straight out of the hip, just holding it in space. You're going to start to feel the outside of the hip start to work. That's your IT band right there. One more deep inhale. Lower the foot, lower the hands, transition back to tabletop. Push the hips back to the heels, curl under your toes. So this isn't quite a isn't quite a child's pose. It's a little more of a toe stretch than it is anything else. Now I want you to find that angry cat back as we start to make these circles. Roll up into tabletop cat back, move through cow back, and then let the hips drive back. So we're making these circles, all right? Up and around. Drop the belly down, shift the hips back. One more time. Good. When you shift the hips back this time, the toes are already curled under. All you have to do is pick the hips up
and find your first downward facing dog. Now the first down dog always needs extra love. Pedal those heels, shake your head yes and no. Relax your tongue in the mouth so we're not clenching the jaw. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Now settle into stillness. Let's refine our downward facing dog before we move anywhere else. This is a foundational pose of yoga. Your feet are 6 inches apart. The toes and the heels are perpendicular to one another. Running along the railroad tracks of your mat, push down into the heels. The hips are high as the heart melts back towards the thighs and the head is soft. But again, find that drawing back of the shoulders like we did when we were rolling our shoulders. Inhale. Spread your fingertips wide. Connect through the fingerprints. Exhale. Now look forward and slowly walk your feet to the top of your mat. Come into a gentle forward fold, feet 6 inches apart. You have 2 options. Grab opposite elbows or clasp the hands around the nape of the neck and allow yourself to sway side to side. And then release your hands down, root through the feet, and slowly roll up to standing. Keeping the shoulders shrugged to the ears until we arrive all the way up, chin away from the chest. Roll the arms down. Let's do that 2 more times. Shrug, pull it down and away. Make the space for the neck. Imagine 2 tennis balls in your crook of your neck. One more time. Up and down. Thumbs turn away from the hips. Pinkies turn a little bit more towards the front of your mat. Find that external rotation. Breath in, breath out. Good. Inhale, arms up and overhead, palms touch, look up. Exhale, bend in the knees, forward fold. Hands come down to the mat. Inhale, hands to shins, 90-degree angle between the chest and thighs, and then plant your hands and step just the left foot back. Lower the left knee. When you're ready, pick up the arms, look up. Anjayanasana, we're lunging into the right knee, so you can walk that right foot a little farther forward. Listen to your hips. How does this feel in the front of your left hip flexor? Breath in and breath out. Maybe draw those shoulders down, lift the heart, look up in a soft back bend. No cranking today. Breath in, connect. Breath out. Slowly float the hands down. Straighten the right leg, half splits as we fold over the right thigh. If you have those blocks, you might like to set those blocks underneath the hands. If you don't have blocks, but you have something else, like maybe some cans of soup, you can maybe use those to help support you. Flex through the right ankle so that the toes shine straight up to the sky. Take an inhale and an exhale. One more. Pull the weight back into your right foot. Frame the foot with the hands. Left toes curl under. Left knee lifts. Step the right foot back. High plank. Now, depending on how you're feeling in your upper body, you can take your knees down first and then slowly lower all the way down to your belly, or you can stay off the knees and just plank it all the way down. Choice is yours. What feels right in your body? Draw those shoulders away from the ears. Peel the heart up. Cobra pose. And then lower back down, soft and sweet. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last one. Now we're going to make that cat-cow child's pose circle thing. Such a technical term. You're going to come back to your child's pose. Round up through cat. Move through cow, and then back to downward facing dog. So feel that full circle action. 3 breaths in, 3 breaths out. 2 more. Just connecting with the sound of your own breath in your ears, listening to the inner workings of your body. Last one. Look forward, feet step to the top of the mat. Hands to shins, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold back down. Rise slowly to standing, arms sweep, palms touch. Let's do that on the other side. Exhale, fold down. Lift up halfway. And then step just the right foot back and set the right knee down. Push off the hands. You can stay here 90-90 between the knees or walk that left foot forward and really lunge in. Shoulders drawing down the back. Lift the heart, look up. Check in with your thought patterns. Last deep inhale in this pose, and then we'll move to half splits. Hands down, left knee straightens, fold over the left thigh. Flex through the ankle, feel the stretch in your hamstrings. Maybe you've been sitting a lot. Our hamstrings get tight. Good. Now draw all your weight forward, back into the left foot. Right toes curl under, right knee lifts. Extend the left leg to the back of your mat. Your choice here, knees down like we did before, or control yourself and lower all the way down. Uncurl your toes. Lift your heart. Lower back down. 2 more. Nice waving breath. Last one. Shift over the knees into this child pose. Round into the back cat. Belly down cow. Downward facing dog. Lift the knees. Slow breath in. Easy breath out. Come back to your intention. We set intention so that we move mindfully and with purpose. Every breath, every pose matters. Be careful of just going through the motions. Last inhale. Eye gaze forward, step your feet to the top of the mat. Lift up halfway, fold back down, rise up to standing. Separate your feet 6 inches apart from one another. And then we're just gonna grab the right wrist and lean to the left. So a soft side bend. If you're feeling good and open, you can go a little bit farther. We're making this half moon shape with our bodies. Separating the feet helps alleviate some of the tension in the hips. Good. And then come back to center, switch your grip, grab the left wrist, turn on the belly so it supports you, and then lean to the opposite side. Looking up and under. So this is half moon in 2 directions, which would basically make a full moon, right? So you go this way, and then if you splice the picture together on the other way, slowly come back to center. Forward fold, nice and easy. You'd make a circle. Separate your feet, hips with distance if they're not already there. These fingers around the big toes. Lift the heart, exhale, fold. Padangusthasana, head dangles. Belly lays on the thighs. Relax your face. Feel your roots and your connection to the planet. Lift up halfway. Plant your hands. You're going to keep just the right foot where it is and step the left foot back. So you're in this no knee down lunge this time. Just pause here for a minute. Let yourself move side to side. Wake up the hips. Maybe straighten the right knee a little bit into a pyramid. And then back into that right knee. Hands are going to lift up, high lunge. Good. Keeping the tailbone tucked under, drawing the shoulders away. Once you find your steadiness here, you can sweep the arms behind you into a basket. Peel that basket down the back thigh, lift the heart. You decide how deep this back bend has to go. More of the heart reaching up to the sky than feeling like you're going into a back bend though. Like you were shining a light straight out of the center of your chest. One more inhale. Open to warrior two. So the right toes are straight ahead, left toes are out to the side. 90-degree angle on that front knee. Look over your right fingertips. Slow breath in, slow breath out. Imagine the horizon just across the tips of your fingers. One more inhale here. Revolve. Right arm up, left arm back. Sun warrior. Chin away from your chest. Good. Rise up, straighten the right leg, get out of the thigh, triangle pose, reach forward. Right hand down, left hand up, stack those shoulders, look to the top thumb. Now the idea here is that you're rotating the ribs, so you're facing more to the side than down. Looking to the extended arm. 3, 2, 1 more deep inhale. Exhale, rise up. Spin the right toes towards the long edge of your mat. Hands on the hips, squeeze those elbows together, lift the heart, look up, hinge and fold forward. Prasarita Padottanasana. As you fold, bring the hands down to the mat. If your hands don't come flat, widen your stance. That will help the hands flatten down. Use the grip of the hands to pull the heart closer to the thighs. Now roll those shoulders 3 times. Create that space. When I'm stressed out, I bury my tension in my neck. Good. Walk your hands underneath the shoulders, lift up halfway, soften your knees, hands to hips, and then roll all the way up. The right toes are going to pivot back towards the top of your mat, bend into the right knee again, lay the right elbow down, extend the left arm overhead. Extended side angle. You can stay here. If it feels okay, take the top arm around the back. You're catching a half bind. If you're still good, you can turn the right thumb underneath the thigh and try to catch a bind. I'm not going to do that today because I got a little tugging pinch in my back. It doesn't feel so good. So I'm honoring my body. I'm not shaming myself. I'm not beating myself up. I'm just doing this now. It's okay. Good. Take one more deep inhale. Exhale, rise up, straighten the right leg. We're going to walk that back foot in a couple of inches and turn those toes forward to the top of your mat. So both sets of toes are facing the top of your mat. Hands come to hips, or you can maybe take a basket behind you. Lift your heart, look up, fold over the right thigh. Now, if you've got a basket, you can pick the hands up and overhead. Pyramid pose, nice long stretch here. Rise up slow, engaging the belly for support. We're just going to step both feet to the top of your mat.
Hands to heart, inhale overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Separate those feet, hips width distance. Pada Hastasana this time. Sliding your hands underneath the toes, walking on the hands. Monkey or gorilla pose it's often called. Head dangles. At the bottom of this final exhale, we're going to release out, halfway lift. Good, and then glide the right foot back. We're in this lunge for a moment here with the hands down for support. You know, finagle the feet into the right spaces. Do people still say finagle? I don't know. Sometimes I bring up words my grandpa used to use. There we are with that programming, right? Good. And then you can maybe straighten the leg and then an elongated pyramid. And then back into your lunge. When you're ready, lift your arms up, high lunge on the left side. Tucking your tailbone under. Relax your shoulders. You can find a basket, use the basket, peel it down the back side, lift your heart, look up. Clear away the extra thinking. I call it the clutter. Now we'll open to warrior two. Left arm forward. Widen your stance so the legs are a little bigger here. 90-degree angle in the front knee. Look over your left fingertips. A little stretch in the neck here. 3, 2, 1 more, and revolve. Sun warrior, reaching back behind you, still bent in that front knee if you can help it. Good. And then rise up slow, straighten that front leg, triangle pose. Reach forward. So my hip pops here when I do this, so you want to go slow and be careful. Left hand down, right hand up, stack the shoulders. Looking towards the extended hand, use your belly to hold yourself in space here. 3, rotating the ribs. 2, 1 more deep inhale. Exhale, lift up and out. Turn the left toes now to the long edge of your mat. Lift the heart, look up, and this time as you forward fold, slide your hands down the legs towards the ankles. So you can grab the ankles, you can grab yogi toe grip around the big toes. My preference is to slide my tips of my fingers underneath the outer blade. Draw the shoulders away, and then use that hand grip to help facilitate a deeper fold without cranking into any places of discomfort. Can you deepen your next inhale? And lengthen your next exhale. Release out slow. Walk your hands underneath the shoulders for support. Soften those knees. Hands to hips, roll up. Left toes turn forward, sink down into that knee. Let the left elbow rest. Right arm overhead. So this is called extended side angle, and from the visual you can see why. There's this long line of energy along my right side body. Now you can take the right arm around the back. Some poses make sense why they're called certain things, and other poses don't make any sense why they're called that.
Have you ever seen cow face pose? It looks nothing like a cow's face. So confusing. But then other ones just make perfect sense. Good. One more inhale. Exhale, rise up, straighten the left leg. Drag the back foot in, shortening and staggering your stance. Hands can be on the hips, or you can try that basket like we did on the other direction. Lift the heart and fold over the left leg, letting that basket reach up to the sky. A little stretch here in the shoulders. One more breath. And then rise up. Bring your hands to prayer. Step the right foot up. And then we're going to come into a tree pose. Standing tall, moving into the right leg. Stand into the right leg. Turn the left knee out. External rotation. Open it out wide. You can let the heel rest. You can take it to the calf. You can zhuzh it up all the way into the inner thigh, depending on how you're feeling. Your hands will start at heart center. So we draw everything in like a ball of energy. And then imagine you were a ray of light. Let it radiate out. Arms up. Chin nice and up, away from the chest, so we're not closing off the throat. Find something in your space that doesn't move so you can tunnel your energy. It's called a drishti. 3, 2, and 1. Hands to prayer. Release the leg down, roll onto the right toes, give the knee a wag. Nice little relief here. And then we'll switch. Stand into your left leg, right knee out, heel to ankle, heel to calf, zhuzh it all the way up into the inner thigh. Hands will start at prayer. And then when you're feeling steady and focused, you can grow your branches. Remember, shoulders away from the ears. We don't want to be up here all tight like Jim Carrey. Relax. 3, 2, and 1. Hands to prayer. Release the leg down. Roll onto the left toes. Give that knee a wag. Good. And then we're going to step to the top of the mat. Bring your toes to touch. Heels slightly apart. Mountain pose. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, palms overhead. Exhale, fold, soft bend in the knees. Good. Lift up halfway. Plant your hands. Let's step back to the top of a push-up. High plank, as it's called in the practice. Strong in your shoulders. Strong in your mind. Feel the belly button drawing into the body rather than pushing away. It's called whittling your middle. So we're trying to cinch that in rather than creating a firm, hard Buddha belly. Good. One more deep inhale. Exhale, drop your knees, shift your hips back. Child's pose, rest. Letting your forehead rock side to side as you massage that third eye, your place of intuition and knowledge. In the yoga practice, this idea of inquiry is called svadhyaya, or self-study. Sometimes we fall into roles or thought processes or belief systems because it just feels natural, and we never really question it. But this idea of self-study allows us to explore how it aligns with our true self.
Last inhale here in your child's pose, rest. And then we're gonna lift up onto the shins. Drop your hips off to one side and then extend your feet out in front of you. We're gonna move into a few seated stretches before we come down onto our back. So the legs are straight out. Pull the right sit bone back and the left sit bone back. Extend your arms overhead, lengthen your spine. This reaching up is to create space between the vertebra and then try to maintain that length as you reach forward. Now you can touch the toes if they're within reach, but if not, you can just let your hands rest on the shins. What I don't want you to do is round in here and hunch over. I want you to think about lengthening the spine and tipping from the hips, even if it means or feels like you're not getting as deep. As long as you can feel it in your hamstrings, you're doing it right. 3, 2, and 1. Rise up. Drag the right heel in as you let the right knee open out wide, coming into this figure 4 shape. So my left leg is straight out in front, arms to the sky, quarter turn to the left thigh, and fold. Done. Janu Shirshasana here. Again, leading with the heart. Sometimes that right shoulder likes to hike up. See if you can square it off, leveling through the shoulder girdle. Good. Rise up. Stand the right knee up, step it over the left leg, left arm around, right arm behind, twist towards the back right shoulder. Wringing out the internal organs. Twists are great for detoxifying the body. Unwind slow, lean to the left, release out of the twist. Rise up, both feet together, both knees out wide, Baddha Konasana. You can shift your hips closer to the heels. Fingertips glide together underneath the feet, sit up tall, shoulders away, feel that roll. Good, long neck, lean forward. Lead with the heart. Connect to your breath. And then rise up. We're going to do that on the other side for our seated stretches. Right leg extends forward, arms up to the sky, quarter turn, and then fold. Grabbing for the foot, if it's within reach, you can take a basket. I like to continue looking at my toes as a reminder to stay long in my spine. I find that if I look down, I compromise and round in to get closer. Once I can see my shin and my kneecap in my eye gaze, then something inside of me wants to get to it, so then I start cheating. But if I keep looking at my toes and I make the goal my toes, that helps my spine stay longer. Rise up. Left knee steps up and over, right arm around, left arm behind. Looking over your left shoulder now. Even with your eye gaze, can you even see the back corner of your room? Feel that stretch in the optical nerves. And then unwind, lean to the right to come out of your twist. Rise up, uncross your feet, and we're going to lower all the way down to the back. As you come down, pull those knees into your chest, and you'll just do a couple of easy stretches here. as we begin to get ready for our Shavasana. Rocking the knees, making circles into the tailbone, compressing the shins in. See if you can wrap the arms around the shins. And then moving into happy baby, grabbing for the feet. You can rock side to side. Notice the gentle massage on your back. And draw those knees back into the chest. Squeeze it in tight. Nice deep inhale. Compress into a tight cannonball. And then exhale, release everything down to the mat. As you make your way down to the mat, let yourself unfold. The whole practice, we've been moving our body into these origami-like shapes, this folding action. And now in Shavasana, it's almost an unfurling, if you will. Letting your legs spread a little wider. Hands down by the hips, palms face up. Walk the shoulders away from the ears one final time. And then rock your head left and right, massaging the back of the scalp until eventually the body craves stillness. And we'll take 3 deep breaths here. Inhale, fill the body all the way up. Open the mouth and sigh it out. Deeper breath in. Let it go out. One more time. Complete surrender. Sigh it out. Allowing us to transition to this final pose. Reminding yourself that there's harmony between action and inaction, and that being still is just as valuable as being busy. Letting yourself again go from an external state to an internal focus. Paying attention to the sounds of your inner thoughts and emotions. And rather than judging them or labeling them or beating yourself up because you feel a certain way, just let it be exactly the way it is. Complete relaxation, allowing the body to recover and the mind to rest. Slowly bringing your awareness back into your space. Inhaling, inviting life with breath back into your body. And wiggling your fingers and toes. Reaching your arms up and overhead for a final full body stretch. And then roll to the side that feels the most inviting, making a pillow with your bicep. Not rushing here, just sitting in the clarity that follows Shavasana. As we bring 2020 to a close and we move into the new chapter, I challenge you to embrace the idea of inquiry, self-discovery, asking yourself how you're being your own worst enemy, how your upbringing shaped you and opened you up for moments of manipulation, and how your circle of influence is impacting the way you view the world. These 3 questions will not be answered overnight. But if you remain open, slowly you will start to see a clearer picture. And 2020 has done its job. Moving slowly, coming to a comfortable seat. Keeping your eyes closed, bring your hands together at heart center. And we'll seal our class by thanking our bodies for everything that they could give us today. Send out a dedication of well wishes to someone you know that is suffering. Come back to your intention and let it serve you as you navigate the final days of this year. Until next time, the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste, my friends. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and we will continue into 2021. So if you enjoyed this practice, I will see you same bat time, same bat channel.